So welcome to lecture number 7, scanning. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about scanning objectives, TCP communication flags, scanning methodology, scanning pen testing. So pen testing means penetration testing. Okay, so these are the 4 major concepts we are going to discuss in this particular lecture. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr.
Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so let me go to the first one. What is scanning? So scanning means it is a procedure, or it is going to be a collection of steps for identifying the host, for identifying the computers or the host. Then the next one is the ports and the services in a network. So 3 things we are going to identify. That means I'm going to identify the host in the target network. I'm going to identify the ports, and also I'm going to identify the services in a particular network. So these are the 3 things we are going to find or we are going to collect about the target. Now, so network scanning is one of the components of intelligent gathering. So this is going to be a very intelligent, because here we are going to collect some technical information we are going to collect about the target. Okay, this is going to be the active information. So in the last class, we discussed about the footprinting. In footprinting, whatever we collected, it is going to be passive. It is a passive information. But here, what we are going to collect is going to be the active information. About intelligence gathering of an attacker using users to create the profile of the target. So you can create a profile. Profile means you can come to a conclusion about the target machine. About your target organization or your network, you can create a profile. You can make what is that profile means, what is the name, IP address, how many computers working now, like that you can create a profile about your target. You will understand slowly in the coming slides. Now, objectives of network scanning. Now we are doing scanning. Now I'm going for network scanning. Now my target is a network. I'm going to do scanning by using some tools. I'm going to do scanning of my target network. What I will get or what I'm going to discover means I'm going to discover all these things I'm going to discover. Number 1, what does that means? How many live hosts? What is that live host? Live host means the computers which are running now in my target network. What are the computers running at present? I can find it. That is called the live host. Then what are all the IP address? What the IP address they are using? I can find it. Then what are the port numbers? The port numbers which are open in the live host. This we can find it. So you can discover the live host. That means the computers which are running now. You can discover the IP addresses. You can discover the open port numbers of all the live hosts. You can find it. Plus the operating system. What is the operating system running in this particular live host? You can find it. And what type of architecture? Is it a client server architecture? Or a distributed architecture? So what type of architecture the target is using? You can discover that. And also the running services, the services which are running on the host. This is about the open ports. You can find it. And also you can discover the vulnerabilities in the live host. So the very important word is the live host. So live host means the computers which are currently on, switched on. So the computers which are running in the target machine. So about this, we are going to collect all this data we are going to collect. So this is called network scanning, or we can say the output of a network scanning. Now, for network scanning, the basic things what we are going to use it here means we are going to use the TCP protocol. TCP protocol we are going to use. Now, So TCP IP communication is going to be the basic things here for scanning. Okay. Now let us study about the TCP communication first. Okay. So what does that mean? You can see here. This is the header. Okay. This is the header available in layer 4. Okay. In layer 4. So this is called the TCP header. If you take a TCP header, you can see the port number, okay, destination port number and source port number is available. So source port number and destination port number, in which layer it will be used means this is used in the layer 4. Okay, in the layer 4. Then, so this is a TCP header. In the TCP header, we have a very important field. What is the field means? The name of the field is called flags. Okay, flags. So this flags is going to play an important role here. It is going to play a major role here in scanning. Now, what are the different flags available? Okay, what are the different flags available means? So the very common, very popular flags, okay, available. Okay, the first one is called sync. Sync flag. So what is the use of this sync flag means? Suppose if you want to establish a connection, so two computers, they want to establish a connection, a TCP connection means the first packet they will send is sync. We are going to see it, sync packet. So sync is a flag. Then acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is a sync, okay, it is a flag. So if somebody is giving a sync means I'm going to send the acknowledgement to them. So acknowledgement is a flag. Then we are having fin. Fin packet means, okay, I want to close a connection. Okay, if I want to close a connection, I can use the fin. Okay, then RST. RST means reset. Reset a connection. So these are all the different flags available. Okay, these are all called TCP flags. Okay, TCP flags. Now, this TCP flags will be used in scanning. It will be used for scanning a network to learn about your target. You can use some flags, okay, and you can learn about the target. How? We will see it later. Now, excuse. Now, you can see. This is a TCP communication, three-way handshake. You might have studied about this in the previous courses, okay, in the last semester or before that, in the networking courses. So what does this means? There are two users available. Okay, you see the IP address 10.0.0.2, okay, 21 is the port number used in this machine. Then, so this machine 10.0.0.3, okay, and 21 is the port number. So they want to exchange some data by using the TCP protocol. Okay, by using the TCP protocol. So they want to exchange some data, a TCP connection. So what is the first step means? So first step is three-way handshake. Okay, three-way handshake. So they have to do the three-way handshake. At the end of three-way handshake, a TCP connection will be established between these two machines. Then they can send and receive the data. Now, what are the steps? What are the steps available in a TCP session establishment or in a TCP three-way handshake means the first step is going to be sending the sync packet. So from this machine, a sync packet will be sent. So now you can see the flag. I'll just go to the flag. In the flag, okay, whatever the flag, okay, in the flag, I'm going to write, okay, this is sync. So SYN, I will fill it here and the sync will be sent. Okay, the sync packet will be sent. So sync packet is going to be the first packet. So using the first packet, okay, you are going to send a message to the next machine. I want to create a TCP connection with you. Now, so TCP sync is received here. Now, this person is going to give me the reply. What is the reply means? The reply is going to be the acknowledgement. Now, so this person is giving the acknowledgement plus the sync for this particular machine. That means sync of the Y plus the acknowledgement for this message. So two things it is going to come to me. So here only sync, and this is going to be sync plus acknowledgement. Okay, you can see sync plus acknowledgement. Then my machine is going to send the acknowledgement. Okay, my machine is going to forward the acknowledgement. So now, okay, the receiver is receiving the acknowledgement. Now a TCP connection is established between these two things, two machines. Then they can send and receive the data. Okay, they can exchange the data. Okay, now data is completed. Okay, all the data transmission is completed. Now what I'm going to do, I want to close this connection created here. How we can create means that is going to be TCP session termination. Now I'm going to use a flag. What is a flag means? I'm going to use a flag. Okay, I am the client. So I'm using fin, F-I-N. Fin is a okay, the flag. So that is called the final. I want to close the connection. So fin I'm sending here. Now the server is giving the acknowledgement for that acknowledgement. Okay, then server is giving the fin, then I'm giving the acknowledgement. So there are 4 steps available: fin, acknowledgement, fin, acknowledgement. Then finally the connection is closed at this point. So what we understand means, to make a session, to create a TCP connection, you are going to use the flags. To terminate the connection, if I want to terminate a TCP connection means I'm going to use the flag. So the flag is okay playing a major role in session establishment and termination. Now these flags will be used by the attackers to scan the other network. Okay, to scan the other networks. How? We are going to see it. Now there are 5-6 different flags available: sync, acknowledgement, fin, reset. Okay, there is another one called push, one more called urgent. Okay, urgent pointer. So these are all different flags available. So the attackers can use these particular flags to learn about the target machine. Okay, to learn about the target machine. So this is going to be the scanning concept. Okay, now the next step is creating the packets. Teacher, is it possible to create our own packet? Yes, you can create. There are some tools available. A very popular tool is called SCAFP. SCAFP is a very popular tool. Okay, so I did some projects in this SCAFP. It is okay like a commands. You can create a packet. You can fix your own IP address. You can fix your own flags. Okay, you can fix your own destination IP address, MAC address, everything you can fix in your own way, and you can send the packet to some destination. So you need some tools here. What is the tools means? They are called packet creating tools. Okay, or we can say the packet builders. So creating custom packets you can create. So example is SCAFE. This is one of the tool, a very popular tool for creating the packets. And one more is Cola Soft Packet Builder. This is one of the tool. Okay, so these two tools you can use it to create the packets. You can change the flags. You can change the flags inside the packets. You can change. You can keep any flag. Okay, what are the flags we already discussed? You can have a sync flag. You can have an acknowledgement flag, fin. Okay, reset. Okay, urgent, push. Okay, like this. You can have any flag in your own packet and you can create. Then sometimes you can create fragmented packets also. You can create. Fragmented means the packets which are not going to be the full packet. Fragmented means the pieces. Okay, a small packets also you can create. So what we are understand means you can create your own packets. Okay, you can create by using any of the tools like Cola Soft Packet Builder or SCAFE. So you can have your own. Okay, what is that? You can have your own flags. You can have your own IP address. Everything you can fix it and you can set it. Then scanning methodology. So the next step is scanning methodology. So using scanning, what we can do, already we discussed this in the beginning. You can check for the live systems. This is very, very important. So live system means the systems which are which are working. Okay, so live systems, you can find it in your target machines. In the live system, what are the ports open? The ports open in that particular machine, you can find it. You can find okay, you can scan beyond the intrusion detection system. You can cross, okay, in your target machine. You can cross the intrusion detection system and you can enter into the machine and you can do the scanning. Then you can do the banner grabbing. The banner grabbing, it is available in the footprinting also. In the previous slide lecture also, we discussed about this banner grabbing. So what is banner grabbing means? If you enter into a device, somebody's device, it will welcome you. Okay, welcome to this particular college or welcome to this particular network. So there you will get some information from the banners. Even Cisco routers, maybe in some labs you might have, okay, in networking courses, you can create, okay, banners in the Cisco routers. Okay, so once if anybody is enter into the router, they will get this message. So if banner grabbing you can do, then scan for the vulnerability. What are the weaknesses available? You can scan. You can draw a network diagram of your target. So how many computers available? How many computers running? What is IP address? What are the port numbers they are using? So you can draw a complete network diagram about your target. Then proxies. What are the proxies they are using? If somebody enter into our college, so they can find what are the proxies available. Okay, there are 3 different proxies available here. So all the proxy informations they can collect. So these are all the things you can collect because of scanning. Okay, now I'm going for the first one, checking for the live systems. So different methods we are going to study, okay, methodologies. Now the first methodology is, I want to find a machine is alive, live or not. That means a machine is running or not. I can do in a very simple way. How can I do it? Means I can use a very simple ping command I can use. Okay, I'm going to use ping. My target is 10.0.0.1. Okay, this is my target. So I'm just giving a ping command to my target. So now if my target is live, if my target machine is on, means it is going to give me the reply. Okay, it is going to give me the reply. Otherwise, I'm going to get a error message I'm going to get. So now I understood this machine is on or off. Okay, so this machine is available somewhere. I don't know in which country this machine is available, but I know the IP address of this machine. So what I'm doing means I'm going to just sit in my machine. I'm giving a ping command to this machine, ping 10.0.0.1. If I get the reply from that machine, I'm going to say the machine is alive. The machine is working. If I'm not getting a reply, means I'm going to say the machine is on, off, switched off. The machine is not available. Okay, this is the first technique, a very simple technique. Okay, you see, this is the source 192.168.168.3. Okay, this is the attacker, and this is going to be my target 192.168.168.5. This is my target. So this is connected in the different part. Okay, and this is available in a different part of the world. So now what I'm doing means I'm giving a ping command that is called ICMP echo request. Okay, that is called the ping command ICMP, okay, echo request. So the packet is going, the ping packet is going. If the machine is alive, if the machine is running, I'm going to get the reply. Otherwise, okay, I will get a error message. I can understand this machine is on or off. Very simple technique. Okay, a very simple technique, that is the ICMP scanning technique. Then the next technique is, I'm going for the next technique. The second technique is checking for live systems. The second technique, what is the second technique means? We are having ping sweep technique. So what is a ping sweep technique means? In the ping sweep technique, you will give a range of IP address. Okay, for example, ping 10.0.0.0 / I'm giving the subnet mask. Okay, /8. What is that means? This says all the computers available in this network, in 10 network. So you will be having lot of computers here. Okay, that means 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.3. So you'll be having lot of computers in this network. Okay, 10.0.0.3. So you'll be having 10.255.255.255. So this many number of computers will be available here. Now, so in this, what are all the computers on? Okay, the computers which are live. So the computers which are running, they are going to give the response to you. Now you can find, okay, just only one command, ping. I'm just giving 10.0.0.0/8. So this 8 is going to be the subnet mask. From 10 network, all the machines which are running, which are live, they are going to give the reply to me. So this is called, okay, what we are going to say, this is called ping sweep, okay, ping sweep concept. In the previous concept, only one machine, I know the IP address exactly, the same IP address I know, okay, I'm giving. But here what does that means? A range of IP address we are going to give. So determine the live host from a range of IP addresses. Okay, from a range of IP addresses. So you are giving the echo request, automatically you will get the reply. So the reply maybe will come from 100 machine, 200 machine, 300 machine. So what you can understand means how many computers is on in the target, easily you can find it. Okay, so this is called the subnet mask. So the subnet mask, using the subnet mask, easily you can calculate how many computers available in the network. Now, for doing the ping sweep, we have some tools. The name of the tool is called Angry IP Scanner. So this is one of the important tool. Okay, you can search it in the internet. You can find this tool. We are not going to see all the tools in our lab. Only some tools we are going to study. So Angry IP Scanner. So this is one of the very powerful tool which is used for ping sweep. We have one more tool called SolarWinds, okay, engineer tool set. So this tool also can be used by the attackers for doing, okay, the sweep, okay, ping sweep, you can do it. So this is about the sweep, okay, that means you can find more computers at the same time, okay, whether it is connected or not. There. The next concept is, I'm going for, okay, first concept we completed, that is finding the live machines. How I can find the live machines, okay, that is going to be the first concept. Now, the second concept I'm going is, I want to find the ports open, port numbers open in the target machine, okay, open ports. In the last class, okay, I show you, okay, the Shodan, SHODAN. Okay, in Shodan, if you search, you can find what are the port numbers available, the port numbers open in that particular device, you can find it. So what is the port numbers means? The port numbers, okay, there are so many port numbers available. So if you need, just note down. So from 0 to 65,535 port numbers available. Okay, this is the range of port numbers. So in this very important range, okay, in this, what is a very important range means, from 0 to 1023 is going to be a very important range. This is called the 1023. This is going to be the reserved port numbers. Sorry, well-known port numbers. This is called well-known port numbers. So this port numbers is very, very important. Okay, this is called the well-known port numbers. So the attacker will find, the next step is, the attacker is trying to find what are the port numbers available in a target machine. Okay, that is going to be the next step. Now, so what we can do, what are the tools we can use means, a very popular tool, okay, we are going to see in the lab part. So the very popular tool is Nmap. Nmap is the tool. So if you use the Nmap tool, okay, in the lab, we are having one lab for Nmap, we are going to do it, okay. So using the Nmap, easily, if you just fix a IP address, automatically for that IP address, what are all the port numbers which is open, it will bring it. Okay, so network administrators, they can use this tool, okay, for effectively finding the port numbers which are open in the live machines. That is very important. Live computers, the computers which are running. Then the next tool is called SSDP scanning. What is SSDP scanning means? Simple service discovery. Okay, this is a very simple tool, but this is also a very, okay, very important tool. Simple service discovery. What is this means? This will discover, this will find all the UPnP. What is UPnP means? Universal plug and play. All the plug and play devices it will detect. What is that plug and play devices, teacher? So plug and play devices means, okay, for example, okay, your computer, your laptop, you are connecting with a network. Okay, your TV, a smart TV, you are connecting with your network. So these are all called plug and play devices. So you don't need to do anything, just you can plug, automatically it will be connected with the network. So these devices, even a printer is a plug and play device. A scanner is a plug and play device. So all the plug and play devices are vulnerable. Okay, denial of service attack is possible. Okay, you can see the attackers can launch the buffer overflow and denial of service attacks in the UPnP, universal plug and play devices. So by using this SSDP scanning, you can find what are the UPnP devices available in a network. I repeat, using the SSDP scanning, okay, SSDP scanning, simple service discovery protocol. By using this particular protocol, you can easily find what are all the universal plug and play devices which are running in a network. Okay, we can find it. Okay, so two methods. Okay, we discussed about the two methods here. Now I'm going for the next one. You can see HPing2, HPing3. This is two dangerous tools. Okay, I'm not sure these two tools available in your lab for computer network security A. In computer security A, I'm going to show this tool. Okay, we are having one lab. What is this tool means? This tool will be used for creating the denial of service attacks. Okay, what is this, teacher? You can send hundreds of thousands of ping commands. Okay, using this HPing3, just one command is enough. Okay, for example, I want to give a ping command to a machine. Ping 10.0.0.1 means I want to repeat the same thing. Okay, I want to repeat this ping for 100 times means you have to type 100 times, you have to type this command. Okay, 100 times you have to type this command. But if you use HPing2 or HPing3, you no need to do it. You can fix the number of times. How many number of times this command should run? You can fix the number. Okay, I need this 10 times means, okay, 10 times, okay, not the correct or same syntax. Syntax we will see later, but the concept. So you can fix how many number of times you have to send it. If you fix, automatically the ping packet will go from your machine. Okay, so HPing2, HPing3, these are all a type of ping. Okay, already we discussed about in the first slide, ping. Using ping, you can know a machine is on or off. So using HPing2, HPing3, so these tools also, we can find a machine is alive or not, whether the machine is working or not. Okay, what is the path? Okay, everything you can find it by using HP2 and HP3. So we discuss two things. Okay, I just go from the beginning. Okay, because you have to use the numbers here. Okay, your slides are not properly numbered. If you put the numbers, then only you can. Okay, it will be easy for you to study. Okay, just a minute. Now, see, checking for live systems. This is the first concept. Okay, checking for the live systems. So first one we used ICMP. We used. Then checking for the live systems. Okay, ping sweep. So ping sweep will collect group of computers which are alive. There are two different tools available. One is IP scanner and second one is SolarWinds engineering to engineer tools. Okay, this is for the live system, checking the live system. Then next one is, okay, the next topic is going to be the port numbers. So how I can find the port numbers means we are having three methods, okay, for port numbers. One is called SSDP scanning method. This will bring you the universal plug and play devices. Then Nmap, this is a very powerful tool. Many people are using this still. Okay, in our college also we are using this Nmap to identify the port numbers which are open in a target machine. Then the next one is going to be HPing2 and HPing3. So these are the three tools which are available for checking the open ports. Okay, now the next concept, okay, I'm going for the next concept is Okay, now we are going for the scanning techniques. Already I told in the beginning, we are going to use the TCP protocol. In TCP protocol, there are so many, okay, the flags available. So these flags we are going to use to do scanning techniques. Okay, so what are the flags available means? These are the flags available. So the first flag is called sync flag, synchronization. The next flag is called the acknowledgement. The next one is the fin. The next one is a reset, push, okay, urgent. So these are all the different types of flags. So using these flags, you can do, okay, scanning. You can scan the target machine. Now you can see scanning using TCP networks, scanning using UDP network services. Now we are going to focus on the TCP. Okay, we are going to focus on the TCP. In TCP, there are so many different methods available. No need to confuse. You can leave it. We'll see one by one in the coming slides. Now, you can see scanning TCP network services, scanning UDP network services. So we are going to study about the TCP scanning first. Okay. So, okay, there are so many things available here. Let it be, no problem. I'm going for the TCP scanning now. Okay, now I'm going for a simple TCP scanning. I'm going to do. Okay, what does that mean? See here. This is the attacker. So the attacker, this is my target. The attacker don't want to send any packets. I don't want to send and receive any data from this machine, but I want to know this machine is on or off. This machine is live or not. I want to know. Okay, I want to know. So what I'm going to do means the attacker is going to send a sync packet. Okay, the attacker is sending in a particular port number. Okay, the person is sending in a particular port number. Okay, for example, my IP address is, okay, I write it here. So my IP address is 10.0.0.1, and then I'm going to see a port number. Okay, port number, let it be 80. I want to check port number 80 is open in your machine or not. Okay, in your machine, okay, port number 80 is open or not. I want to check it. Or what is the port number open? Okay, very simple. I want to know what is the port number open in your machine. So this is my IP address. Randomly, I'm selecting some port number. So I'm selecting the port number, let it be 100. Okay, 110 port number I'm selecting. I'm giving a sync packet to you. I'm sending a sync packet to the target machine. Now, the target machine is giving an acknowledgement to me. Plus, the target machine is giving the sync. Okay, the sync is coming to me. So if I open this sync, I can find what is the port number you are using. I can easily find your port number. Okay, I'm going to find very easily, I'm going to find what is the port number of the target machine. And also, I can come to a conclusion, okay, because I'm giving sync, I'm getting sync plus acknowledgement means this machine is on, this machine is running. So this machine is live, plus the port number of this machine, I got it. Then immediately what I'm doing, I'm giving acknowledgement, okay, TCP connection is established, you see, immediately after giving acknowledgement, I'm going to close the connection, reset. Okay, I'm just going to reset the connection. So the connection is resetted. Okay, this person is going to accept. Connection is resetted. Reset means close the connection. So connection is completely closed. So what I done in a ethical way, legitimate way, by using the proper sync command, I'm just finding this machine is live or not. This machine, what is the port number this machine is using? So everything I'm getting here. This is the first type of scanning. This is called TCP connect full open scan. Okay, now I go to the previous slide. You can see I'm TCP scanning. Okay, I'm going here, open TCP scanning method. Okay, this is the first method. In the first method, TCP connect full open scan. What is full open scan? You are sending a sync, you are getting acknowledgement, then you are giving acknowledgement, then you are going to reset the connection. So this is the first type of scanning. So using this scanning, I can understand, okay, the machine is available or not. I can understand what is the port number open in this machine. Okay, very simply, I can understand. This is concept number 1, the first concept in TCP Connect. This is the full open scan method. Then go to the second method. Suppose this machine is off. Okay, this machine is off. I'm going to get the error message. Suppose if a particular port number is closed here. Okay, now you see, I'm sending the packet for port number 10. Port number 10 is open, I'm getting the reply. Suppose if your port number is closed means I'm going to reset. Okay, I'm getting a reset message. I'm sending a sync packet with port number 10. In your machine, port number 10 is closed means you are going to get, okay, you are going to give the reset. Again, I will send a new sync packet, port number 11. Okay, I'm getting reset. Port number 12, reset. Port number 13, reset. Port number 15, I got the reply. That means port number 15 is open in your machine. So by using a simple technique, okay, this is a legitimate, a legal thing. So by using a simple technique, so easily you can find the target, okay, what is the port number, okay, the port number open in this machine, easily you can find it. So this is the first method of scan. Okay, this is called TCP Connect. TCP Connect means you are using the sync. TCP Connect full open scan. This is called a full open scan. What is off open you can see in the next slide. So using a sync packet, you can check whether the port number is open in this machine or not, this machine is alive or not, easily you can find it. Now, let me go to the next type of scan. Okay, what is the next type of scan means? This is called slit scan, okay, which is called off open scan. Okay, what is off open scan? You can see this diagram. See, this is 10.0.0.2 and this is going to be 10.0.0.3. Now, I'm sending a sync packet in port number 80. Okay, I'm going to send in port number 80 to check whether the port number 80 is available or not. Okay, port number 80 is available or not. Now, so this person is giving a reply. Okay, this person is thinking you are legitimate, you want to have a connection. Okay, you want to exchange some data. So he is giving, okay, he or she is giving the sync packet plus acknowledgement she is giving. Then the next one, you are giving the acknowledgement, then you are going to reset the connection. This is what we discussed in the previous one. But now you see, I send a sync packet. Okay, I send a sync packet. Okay, port is closed. If the port is closed, I'm going to get back the result. So the port is closed. Okay, I'm going to get back. So this is what we discussed in the previous one. But now what I'm doing means, okay, you can see what is a slit scan means. In a slit scan, a client sends the sync packet to the server on the appropriate port. If the port is open, the server responds with the acknowledgement. The server responds with the RST packet. Okay, if the server response means then the remote port is closed. Then the client sends the reset packet to close the initiation before a connection can be ever established. Okay, what is that means? In the previous method, we accepted the connection, we created the connection is created. Okay, if you want, I'll show that. See, here you are giving acknowledgement, the connection is created here. After creating the connection, you are giving the reset. So a proper connection is created here. Then, okay, that means attacker and target machine, a TCP connection is created. After the connection is established, you are going to reset. But in this case, I just get the sync and acknowledgement from you. That means this port number is open. So this machine is live. Automatically, immediately, I don't want to establish any connection. This is called off open. If I complete 3 steps, it is full open. So I'm not using acknowledgement. So instead of using acknowledgement, I send RST immediately and I'm closing the connection. Okay, so here 3 lines. In the previous method, if you see, there will be 4 lines. What is that? Acknowledgement will be available here. So you are giving an acknowledgement. Okay, so connection will be established. So once the connection is established, you are sending the reset. But here, no need. Okay, I'm checking. Yes. So port is open. The machine is live. Close it. If it is closed, if a particular port number is closed, automatically it is reset. This is same like the previous method. So the attacker is going to try the next port number, next port number, next port number. So whenever the acknowledgement and sync is coming, he is going to reset. So he is finding this particular port number is open in this machine. Now, okay, this is the second method. Now, you can go to the next one. You can see the next one is going to be the inverse TCP scan. Inverse TCP scan. Okay, now what is the inverse TCP scan means? Now you can see this is, okay, see how people are thinking. See, this is the attacker. Okay, I want to check a particular port number is open. Okay, a particular port number is open in your machine. Okay, I want to find. Now, what I'm doing means, okay, see, I'm going to send a probe packet. So what is a probe? Probe packet means the attacker sends a TCP probe packet with a TCP flag, FIN, urgent, and push. So these are the three different flags in TCP. This is just probe. Probe means like an inquiry, like inquiring. Okay. For example, you know about the FIN. So FIN means I want to close the connection. Okay, I want to close the connection. Then urgent means, okay, doing some urgent. This is an urgent packet, and this is going to be push. Okay, push packet. So if you send any of this packet, okay, if you send any of this packet, okay, like FIN or urgent or push, set to with no flags or response means, okay, that means if there is no response coming from that particular machine. If there is no response coming from that particular machine means, what does it mean? Means this particular port is open. Okay, so if any of this flag, either FIN flag or urgent or push or null, we are using. So in this, any of the, okay, the flag you can send, if it is not giving any response means, okay, that means this particular machine is going to have, okay, that means it is open. Suppose if you are getting any reply, if you are getting any reply means automatically the port will be closed. Okay, you just think, I'm sending FIN, this person is giving acknowledgement means what does it mean? He is going to close it. Okay, that is what we studied here. Okay, we studied, okay, where is that? The TCP three-way handshake. In three-way handshake, we studied. I send a FIN packet, I want to close this connection. Now this person is going to say, yes, okay, acknowledgement is giving. What does it mean? That particular port number is closed here. Okay, I'm ready to close. That is the meaning. If I'm getting the reply, the port is closed. If I'm not getting the reply means the port is going to be open. So you can use the FIN packets, okay, the FIN flags, okay, like FIN, urgent, push. If you are not getting the response, the port is still open. If you are getting the response means the port is closed. So this is called the inverse approach. Inverse approach. So using the inverse, okay, TCP flag options, you can probe, you can find, okay, you can find whether the port number is open or not. Then the next one, the next type of attack, okay, not attack, scanning method. So what does that means? Giving the acknowledgement. Okay, what is that acknowledgement? You see, I'm just sending an acknowledgement to you. Okay, I'm sending just an acknowledgement I'm sending to you. What is that? See, okay, if I send some message, you will give acknowledgement to me. Just imagine. The first machine is sending a packet, a sync packet. So acknowledgement is given. The first machine is giving the FIN packet, acknowledgement is given. But here, acknowledgement is given. So if a acknowledgement is given, what is going to happen? Okay, what is going to happen means, now you can see, if acknowledgement is given, okay, this person is giving a RST means it is a reset. So reset packet is going to come. Now, if a reset packet is coming, okay, with the TTL, where TTL means it is time to leave. So if a reset packet is coming, automatically I can understand this machine is alive. Okay, you see, they are giving an example to us. Now, from the first machine, we gave a acknowledgement packet. What the reply means, the reply is coming from this machine. It is a reset packet, RST packet is coming. But now you can see the port number 22. So port number 22 is open in this particular machine. What is the IP address of this machine is 10.2.2.11 is the IP address of this machine. So I can identify, I can find even TTL value. TTL means time to live. Okay, time to live. So TTL value of this particular machine, everything I can find it. So this is called acknowledgement method. So using the acknowledgement method, you can scan. So scanning using acknowledgement. Okay, all these things we are going to see in the lab part of Nmap. So these are all the commands. Scan, okay, for A, acknowledgement. Okay, scan T, okay, this is for T. This is the TCP connect. So the next one is sleuth scan. Okay, yes, for sleuth scan. So the next one is going to be, okay, TCP flag. Okay, this is the fin, and this is for null. Okay, like that. Okay, if you do some commands, you will understand clearly, but concepts, okay, try to understand the concepts first. So I'm giving an acknowledgement, I'm going to get a response. So if I get a response from this machine, so in the response, I can find what is IP address of the machine, I can find what is the port number of the machine, okay, what is the TTL value of that machine, everything I can find it, okay, in the reset packet. Okay, so this is going to be, okay, acknowledgement flag, probe scanning method. The next one, acknowledgement flag scanning, the same thing. Okay, they're explaining here. So you are going to send an acknowledgement packet. So the reset response. So from the reset response, you can find, okay, the TTL value you can find, and also you can find a value called windows. So windows also you can find. Okay, what is that windows means? That is going to be the size, the window size. What is that window size means? The size of the packet which, okay, that machine is going to send. Okay, so that is called the window. The window value, what is the window value means? The size of the packet, the value of the RST packet, that means the size. What is the size? This window size can be adjustable. You can adjust the window size of your machine. Okay, that is going to fix what size of packet you are going to accept. Okay, so I'm going to fix my window size 512 means, okay, the size of the packet should be 512 bytes. So this is okay, this is also a important information for the attacker. So the attacker is going to take what is your TTL value. The attacker is going to find what is the window size. Okay, the attacker is going to find what is the port number, and the attacker is going to find what is the IP address. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 different informations he is going to get. Okay, so this is the acknowledgement probe, that means acknowledgement flag probe scanning method. Then the next method is called header scanning, idle or IPID header scanning method. So the word itself, it is very clear. So what is that means? Scanning the header. Scanning the header. So you know what is the header. Okay, in header, what will be available means you will be available, okay, you can see what is the source IP address, what is the destination IP address, what is the flag used, okay, what is the port number used. So everything, whatever the available in the header, I will show the header to you. You can see the header. So we discuss this header here. Now, so these are all the informations which are available in the header. Okay, I'm just bringing that copy here. Now, you can see here. So these are all the information, you can get it from the header. Okay, what are they? Source port number, destination port number, sequence number, okay, acknowledgement number, okay, then flags, window size. This window size we discussed now, window size, urgent pointer, okay, complete. All this data, okay, you are going to get. Plus, one more information you are going to get, a very technical information. What is that means? That is called IPID information you will get. So what is that IPID means? Every packet, every IP packet on the internet has a fragment identification number. What is the fragment identification number means? I have a data. The size of the data is very big. So what I'm going to do means, I'm going to divide this data, I'm going to fragment this data into small pieces. Okay, So the data, I just make a small diagram, you will understand. So I'm having a data. So this is going to be my data, a very big size of data I'm having. So this data, I cannot send the data as it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do in layer 4, that means in the transport layer, I'm going to divide this data into segments. Okay, I'm going to divide it into segments. I'm going to do it fragmentation. So fragmentation means you can divide the data into some pieces. Okay, you can divide the data into some pieces so that, okay, you can easily send your data. Okay, I just divide this into small pieces like this. So this is going to be, okay, the fragments. Now for every fragment, there will be a fragment ID. Okay, I can divide like this. So for every fragment, there will be a fragment ID. Okay, so that identification number also you can find it. Okay, the fragmentation number also you can find it for all the, okay, packets. So this is called IPID header scan. So that means from the header, okay, from the sequence number, this is the place sequence number. From the sequence number, easily you can find the fragment ID of a packet. So you see, technically, what are all the information you can read? Okay, you can take it from a packet. Okay, that means by using scanning method, particularly by using the TCP scanning method, what are all the different types of information you can collect? Okay, this is. Then the next one, we are having a example for idle or IPID header scanning. We are having an example here, and we are going for the steps. There are some steps we are going to follow. Okay, now you can see the diagram. Okay, there are three or four steps available. You can find it. Now, first one, step number 1. Okay, what is the step number 1 means? I am the attacker. So the attacker is sending, okay, want to do IPID probe. That means I want to find the IPID of this machine. So what I'm doing means I'm going to send a sync packet plus acknowledgement packet to the target machine. Okay, you see, generally we will send the sync packet. Okay, generally we will send the sync packet. Then you will get the acknowledgement packet and sync packet you will get. Okay, acknowledgement and sync you will get it. Then you will send the acknowledgement. This is the 3 steps. Okay, if you want, I will copy this. Wait 1 minute. I'm just bringing this so that you can understand. Okay, see, this is what usually happens. Okay, what is going to happen? You are going to send a sync. That means, okay, the client will send a sync. The server is going to send the sync plus acknowledgement. Then you are going to send this acknowledgement. This is the usual step. But now what I'm doing, the attacker is going to send sync and acknowledgement. He is going to send. Okay, sync and acknowledgement is going to send. So what does it mean? That means already you sent a sync to me. Already you sent a sync to me. I'm giving my sync and acknowledgement for your sync. That is the meaning. Okay, think, okay, how? If I send sync, okay, sync will go. Then I will get the sync plus acknowledgement. Then I will give the acknowledgement. This is the normal process. But what I did, I'm just going to start with sync plus acknowledgement. What does it meaning? So this is my sync. This is the acknowledgement for your sync. But I didn't get anything. Okay, but I didn't get anything. Now, this person is giving a response. This person is giving a response. So what is the response this person is giving means? The response is going to be, okay, a reset packet. A reset packet is coming from here. So reset packet means, okay, I'm totally confused. I'm totally confused. We have to start a new connection. So a reset packet is coming from this particular machine. Now, in that reset, okay, response, what is it available means this IPID code, okay, that means the IPID will be available. Okay, this machine will continuously use some sequence number, that means the fragmentation ID. So the fragmentation ID, okay, it is going to give. Now, the attacker got this. Attacker got it. What is this feature means? Suppose packet number 1, packet number 2, packet number 3 going from here. Now I got it. This is your current packet. You are using this number. Now The next number could be 31338. The next, it could be 31339. So this is going to be your ID. So the next packet, easily I can target. Easily I can find what will be your next packet. That means your next IP ID, what will be your sequence number, what the number you will use next. I can easily find it. So you see, send the sync plus acknowledgement to the zombie machine to prop the IP ID number. Okay, from here to here. Then every IP packet on the internet having a fragmentation identification number, which is necessary every time. Okay, which increase every time on the host sends a packet. This is what I told, it will be incrementing. So 31337, next packet will be 338, okay, 339, 334, it will increment like that. So I want to find in which number you are starting. What is your current number? So from that, automatically the attacker will increase and find the next one. Now, zombie is not expecting the sync plus acknowledgement. Okay, I'm giving sync plus acknowledgement. Here, sync plus acknowledgement is not expected. It is something sudden. Okay, sync plus acknowledgement is there is no chance for that. So now, because I didn't give any sync. Okay, I'm talking about this person. This person is now confused, getting sync and acknowledgement. Because I didn't give any sync to anyone. But how can I get sync and acknowledgement? Now, so this person is going to send a reset packet. So disclosing the IP ID, the IP ID will be sent. So this attacker is catching the IP ID. Okay, that is the what is it? Internet protocol identifier. That means the fragment identifier. Now he can guess what will be your next fragment number. So the next one, he can guess it. Okay, and he can create a packet same like that with the new ID and he can send it to somebody else. Okay, so this is going to be step number 1. Then you can see the next step. Okay, the next one, we can say next case. Now, all of you look at the diagram. So what is happening in this diagram? Okay, see the first diagram and the second diagram. Okay, you can find. Okay, even you can guess what is happening. Okay, look at the diagram and just tell what is happening. What is happening in the first diagram? What is happening in the second diagram? Can anyone explain? Sync packet to port number 80. Now the attacker is sending a sync packet to the port number 80 in a genuine way. I want to establish a TCP connection. Okay, so sync packet to port number 80. Okay, I'm sending a sync packet. Now I have to get the acknowledgement and sync. I have to get. The attacker should get the acknowledgement and sync. But now what is happening means the acknowledgement and sync is going to somebody else. Okay, it is going to somebody else. Why? Why it is going to somebody else means the attacker is using a snooped IP address, a fake IP address, somebody's IP address the attacker is using. Okay, so I'm going to give the sync packet. Okay, so if you want, I'll just make it sync packet. I'm going to send. But what is the IP address means the source IP address. Source IP address, what I'm going to mention means I'm going to mention somebody's IP address. I'm going to mention the IP address of this zombie. Okay, for example, 10.0.0.3 is the IP address. But my IP address is 10.0.0.1. I'm not giving my IP address. I gave a fake IP address. I'm giving the fake IP address of somebody else. Okay, I created a packet with port number 80. I'm sending this packet to the target machine. Now, the target machine is going to give the acknowledgement plus the sync. The target machine is going to give the target machine is giving the sync plus acknowledgement. But the sync and acknowledgement, where it will go means it will go to 10.0.0.3 only it will go. That means this is going to the zombie. Now, again, zombie is confused. What is this? I'm getting acknowledgement and packet. Acknowledgement and sync. I didn't give any acknowledgement to anyone. So I'm sending the reset again. Now this machine is getting, okay, your IP ID. So you see how the attacker is playing. In the previous case, the attacker is finding the IP ID, but now the attacker is giving the IP ID to somebody else. So I just simply send a fake IP address. Okay, sync I'm sending to the target. The reply is going here. Automatically, the IP ID is released to this machine. Next, see the next one. This is port is open. If port is closed, okay, I'm sending port number 80 with a sync. Okay, I'm sending a snoof IP address. I'm giving the same case. If it is open, okay, this is going to happen. Suppose in the target machine, in this machine, port number 80 is closed means, okay, a reset packet will be given to zombie. Again, zombie will be confused. Okay, zombie is getting a request, okay, a reset message from somebody else. Okay, I don't have any TCP connection with you, but still I'm saying, okay, you are giving a reset, okay, machine reset packet to me. So here the zombie is not giving any response. So these are all different techniques how you can bring out, okay, how you can find the information, okay, like a port number is closed or not, what is your, okay, fragmentation number, okay, the number you are using for your packets. So everything we can bring out, okay, in this way. Now we are having one more method, the last method. Okay, all of you kindly just go see this. You can now, okay, you can give your own interpretation here. Come on, see what is happening. Okay, you can see what is happening here. Now in step number 1, I gave the same thing. Okay, sync plus acknowledgement packet I gave. Okay, this is what we discussed in the, okay, a slide before. Now this person zombie is going to give, okay, the reset packet with the IP ID, but now you can see the IP ID will be increased. IP ID incremented by 2 since step number 1. So port number 8 must be open. So what that means, I'm checking. Now I'm checking. Okay, I got, okay, your IP ID number 1. After some, okay, I write it in the paper. Okay, for example, I'll just do it here. See, I'm giving, okay, yeah, acknowledgement plus sync. I'm giving. You are giving the reset. I got your IP ID. Okay, what is your IP ID? So the IP ID of this target machine is, now I'm writing, it is 10. Okay, I write it in a piece of paper. Then after 5 minutes, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to repeat the same time, same thing I'm going to repeat. Now the IP ID, okay, I'm getting your IP ID. So the IP ID is going to be 15. Then after some time, after 1 hour or 2 hours, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm giving the sync plus acknowledgement here. I'm getting the reply. Now the reply IP ID is going to be, let it be 100. So now what I understood from this means your port number 80 is completely open. And so far you have sent 90 packets you already transferred from your machine. 90 IP packets, okay, starting from 10 to 100. So 90 IP packets, okay, you have delivered so far. I got the information from you. You see how beautiful it is. So I give sync plus acknowledgement. You are giving reset. Write it. What is the IP ID available? Write it. Okay, IP ID is 10. Okay. After, do the same process after, okay, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Now I got the IP ID 15. So that means 5 packets you already, okay, you send in between this time. You send, okay, 5 packets you send to someone. Then I'm doing it after 1 hour. Okay, I'm getting the IP ID as 100. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is port number 80 is keep on. It's kept open in your machine for almost for past 1 hour. And in the past 1 hour, so this many number of packets you send from your machine. I'm reading about you. So this is called, okay, the idle scan methods. Okay, so up to this, okay, now I'll take you to the slide. You can see here, these are all the different methods. I'll show it to you. See, The first method is ordinary TCP connect method. The next method is called off open method. The next method, okay, we use the acknowledgement, then inverse, okay, we use, in the inverse, you are using the null, fin, okay, all these things. And finally, we use the idle bar IP header scanning. So these are all the different types of scanning methods available using TCP. Okay, using the TCP method. Now, if I go to the UDP, in UDP, what type of scanning method means? Only one. Okay, very simple. That is called the UDP scanning method. Okay, so what is the UDP scanning method means? You can see here UDP scanning method. Okay, in UDP, you don't have anything like handshake. There is no acknowledgement. You can, sorry, there is no sync. You cannot send sync packet. Okay, you cannot send acknowledgement. There is no acknowledgement, nothing. But how you can do the scanning means, you can see here UDP port open. There is no three-way handshake here. Okay, there is no three-way handshake here. Okay, like sending the sync, getting the sync plus acknowledgement, then giving the acknowledgement. There is nothing, no option like this. So system do not respond with a message with a port number open. So here it is not going to respond anything. But how you can use means, you can use, okay, ping commands, ICMP protocols. Now you can see UDP packet is sent to the closed port, system responds with the ICMP packet. So now you see, are you open? I'm just sending a UDP packet. Here, no acknowledgement, nothing. Sorry, okay. What to say? I repeat. Wait. I just taking the new slide. I'm typing TCP. In TCP, what you do? You are sending sync. Then you are getting the sync plus acknowledgement. Okay, I just summarize the thing. So you are getting the sync plus acknowledgement. Then you have to send again acknowledgement. Then you are going to send the data. Okay, you are going to send the data. So data. You are going to send the, okay, receive the data. Finally, I want to close fin. Okay, the target machine will give the acknowledgement. Then the target machine will give the fin, and you have to give the acknowledgement. These are the steps. Okay, in TCP, these are the steps. So first, you have to send the sync. You will get the sync plus acknowledgement. Then you have to give the acknowledgement. Okay, connection is established. You can send the data. You can send the data. Okay, data is over. Sending the fin. I want to close the connection. Okay, acknowledgement. Again, fin from the client machine, acknowledgement. This is TCP. If you go for UDP, we don't have all these options in UDP. In UDP, you have only one option. What is the only one option means? You can directly send the data. Alas, directly you can send the data. So if you have, okay, this is the UDP. So what I do, I'm going for UDP scanning. Okay, what is UDP scanning? Now you see here, I take a data. I'm going to send it to a port number 29. For example, I'm going to send the data to this port number 29. What is that port number 29? How it is available? You see, if you take a packet, okay, I just insert a table. Okay, if you take a packet, in a packet, very important thing is source IP address. Okay, 10.0.0.1. This is source IP address. The next one is destination IP address. Okay, I know your IP address already. I got by using first step number 1. Okay, by the previous lecture, I found what is your IP address. Now your IP address is 20.0.0.1. Now my port number, source port number, my port number I know. This is my port number. So your port number, okay, that means destination port number is this. Now destination port number, I'm going to try, okay, for example, I want to check 10 is open in your machine or not. I want to check. Now, what is the protocol I'm using? The protocol I'm using is, okay, UDP. UDP is the protocol. Now, what is the data means? The data I'm going to send, hello, how are you? This is the data. So this data, I'm sending it to you, okay, by using UDP. I'm sending hello, how are you? If port number 10 is open, okay, they will accept it. If port number 10 is closed, I'm going to get the error message. Okay, if port number 10 is available, if the port number 10 is available in the destination machine, means I will not get any reply. Okay, they will, because no acknowledgement, they will receive the packet. Now I can understand port number 10 is open. Suppose port number 10 is not open, port number 10 is closed, means I will get the error. Okay, I will get the error message. So error message means, okay, 10 is closed. Okay, now let me try for 11. Now I send the UDP packet to you. I'm getting the error, means 11 is closed. Then I make 14. So 14 I'm sending. For 14 I'm not getting any reply. I'm not getting any error, nothing, means 14 is open in your machine. Okay, 14 is open in your machine. Now you can see here, see the same concepts, they are going to use it here. So what does that mean? See, I'm sending a message, hello, how are you? Are you open? Are you open is the message. I'm using hello, how are you? On port number 29. Okay, so the message is going, no response from this machine. There is no response from this machine. What does it mean? Okay, this machine is accepted your data. It is accepted your data. So the data is accepted, means the message received, means it is not going to give any reply because it is UDP. In UDP, no acknowledgement. It is not going to give any acknowledgement to you. So what I'm doing means I understood in your machine, okay, port number 29 is open. Suppose port number 29 is closed. Okay, port number 29 is closed, means I will get a error message, ICMP error message I will get. Okay, unreachable, something I will get. So I can understand port number 29 is closed in your machine. This is called the UDP scanning. So in UDP scanning, only one method, directly send the data. But in TCP, it is not like that. You can play with a lot of flags, okay, like acknowledgement flag, sync flag, fin flag, reset flag, urgent, okay, push. There are so many flags available. So using that particular flag, okay, we can do lot of things by using the TCP scanning methods. Okay, we are going to have a lab for this, okay, by using the tool. The name of the tool is, okay, Nmap. In Nmap tools, okay, we are going to check some portion, some part of this, we are going to check it. Okay, so up to this, we are completing, okay, we are completing the major concepts, okay, the major concepts we are completing. So port scanning counter measures. Okay, now we are the target machines. So far, we are discussing from the attacker point of view. Okay, attacker point of view, we were discussing. But now what you have to do, you change your, okay, perception, go to, okay, you are the target now. So if you are a target, how you can secure yourself or how you can protect yourself from port scanning? Okay, how you can protect yourself or how you can stop, how you are going to stop the counter measure, how you are going to stop the port scanning in your network. So that is going to be, can you hear me now? I got a message. I got a message in the chat box. No voice with me, Mr. Others, please kindly confirm. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think some students,
Yes,
okay,
Mr.
they wrote. Okay. Marwa, can you hear me now? I think she is having some problem. Okay, please reconnect. Okay, connect it again. Okay, maybe our network problem. Okay. So please connect it again. Okay, let me continue. So port scanning countermeasures. So what is countermeasures means? What are the steps we have to do or what are the steps we have to take in a target machine to avoid scanning, port scanning? Okay, so this is the concept. Now, we can see one by one. You can configure a firewall. So firewall is a device. It is a device, so which is going to work in the network layer. You can have a firewall, either a hardware firewall or you can have a software firewall in your organization. This is first countermeasure. The second countermeasure is you can have the intrusion detection systems. Intrusion detection systems we can have, the hardware or software device, we can have the intrusion detection system. And these two things, you have to fix strong rules. You have to fix strong rules and you have to detect the attacks. This is step number one. Okay, please underline the keywords and study. You can have firewalls and you can have the IDS intrusion detection system. You can have very strong rules inside this and you can detect the port scanning. This is step number one. There. Second step, you can run your own port scanning tools for your network. For your network, you can run your own port scanning tools and you can find what are the ports open in your machine and you can close the ports, the unnecessary ports, you can close it. So this is going to be the second one. So you can run your own port scanning tools, the port scanning tools you can run and you can determine, you can find what are the ports open in your machine and you can close the ports, which are open in your machine. This is going to be the second, countermeasure. There. The third measure is ensure use for routing and filtering all the routers. Suppose if you are having any routers and firewalls cannot be bypassed by a particular source port and source routing methods. So in your routers, if anybody is going to cross your router, means bypassing the routers, you have to avoid, you have to strictly fix some rules and you have to stop the people bypassing your routers. Then you can use your custom rule set. What is this rule set means? This is going to be the filters. What is that filters? This is lab number 2 actually. So what is that means? Which people you want to allow and which one you don't want to allow. You can fix your own rules. IP address 10.0.0.1 I want to allow. IP address 20.0.0.1 I don't want to allow. Port number 50, I don't want to allow. Port number 51 I want to allow. So this is called access control list. Access control list in the routers. You can create your own access control rules and you can block the unwanted port numbers, you can block the unwanted protocols, everything you can block. This is going to be, this is our lab, second lab. We are going to configure access control list in a router. In a router, how you can create access control. That is called packet filtering firewalls. Then filter all ICMP packets. This is going to be a very dangerous one, these ICMP packets. People will be playing with the ping commands. So using the ping commands, lot of information the attacker can get from you. So what we can do means filter all the ICMP packets, stop all the ICMP packets in your firewall or in your router, anywhere, any place. You have to stop all the ping commands which are coming from outside. Don't give response to any ping commands which are coming from the outside. So in your firewall or in your router, you can stop, you can block all the ICMP packets. Then ensure anti-scanning and anti-spoofing rules are configured properly. So make sure there is some anti-scanning mechanisms and anti-spoofing rules you are implemented in your network. So these are all the countermeasures, but still attackers can get your information. But still, it is possible for the attackers because you are connected with outside world, internet. Once if you are connected means automatically, the attackers can easily take your data, but you can stop as much as possible, you can stop. So this is about the port scanning countermeasures. Now, I'm going to the next concept. So the next concept is scanning beyond intrusion detection system. Now I'm having an intrusion detection system. Okay, I'm having an intrusion detection system in my network. Okay, for example, you take the target. The target is having an intrusion detection system, IDS. So the intrusion detection system will record, it will register everything, who is entering into your network, so what they are doing, or they are doing any malicious activity. So everything will be recorded by the intrusion detection system. Now, so the attacker is going to cross, okay, the attacker is going to cross the intrusion detection system and collecting the net and doing the scanning. So how means you can see these are the techniques. Okay, these are the techniques. What is it? The first one is use fragmented IP packets. So the IP packets means they are going to use the packets which are very small in size, which is not going to be a regular packet. So the packets which are fragmented. Fragmented means we already discussed in the previous slides. What is fragmentation means? So the huge packet, it will be segmented. It will be fragmented into small pieces. So using the fragmented pieces, you can enter. This is number one. Then snoof your IP address when launching the attack. Okay, IP address snoofing. This also we already know. Changing the source IP address. Okay, not using the real IP address, using a fake IP address, the attackers can enter. Then there is another important concept is available. What is that means? Source routing concept. So this we are going to see in some other lecture, maybe in lecture number 9 or 10. So using the source routing concept also, we can enter. That means the attacker can enter into your IDS. Then the last one is connect to the proxy server or compromise Trojan machine to launch the attack. That means launch the attack from a compromised machine. Compromised machine means this is called zombie. We can say zombies, okay, or we can say it is a bot. So bot means already infected computer. Okay, already infected computer. So from the infected computer, okay, if the computer security, if you study in lecture number 6, denial of service attack. In denial of service attack, you might have seen this word, botnet. Okay, botnet. So what is a botnet means? It is already infected computer. It is compromised. Security is compromised in that computer. So attacker can control that computers. So from that computer, you can launch the attack. For example, I am the attacker and you are the bot. Okay, you take yourself, you are the bot. So bot means you are an infected computer. So what I can do, I'm not going to attack directly. I'm going to launch the attack from your machine. Through you, I'm going to attack my target. So that is going to be, okay, using a compromised computers. So these are all the different techniques, okay, different techniques the attacker can use to enter into an IDS, then he can scan the network. So I'm having intrusion detection system, I'm safe, my network is safe means no. Okay, no. So attacker can bypass. Okay, attackers can bypass. Okay, even the intrusion detection system, they can bypass. There, you can see we are having a small example here. So what does that means? A small IP fragment, a very small packet with a sink and fin, or sink or fin. So you know about the sink. This is for creating the connection, and this is fin. So the fin is closing the connection. You can use anything, either sink or fin, a small, okay, IP fragment packet, and then any particular port number 10. I want to know whether the port number 10 is open or not. Now, I'm just giving the message. So this will be allowed by the intrusion detection system. Now, the target machine is giving a response. What is the response means? So it is giving a reset command. That means the port is closed. Okay, the port is closed. So if I'm getting an acknowledgement, I send fin, I'm getting acknowledgement means the port is open. Okay, the port is open. So you can use a very small packets, that is called the fragmentations or fragments. Okay, this will easily cross your intrusion detection systems, and you can find, okay, you can do the scanning even beyond the intrusion detection system. There. So up to this, almost, okay, active scanning methods are finished. Okay, we are completing the active scanning methods. That means by using the TCP and UDP, okay, what type of scanning you can do, we are completing this. Now, the next concept is, okay, is banner grabbing. Okay, so this is just, you can listen like a story. This is not going to be very technical thing. So just it's going to be a very easy one. So what is banner grabbing? Okay, banner grabbing means, you can say banner grabbing, or you can say it is operating system fingerprinting, or knowing about the operating system running in your machine. So what is the operating system you are using? Are you using Windows operating system? Are you using Unix operating system? So what is the operating system used in the target machine? Okay, this is going to be the banner grabbing concept. We can say banner grabbing, or we can say operating system fingerprinting. So this is the method to determine, to fix, or to find the operating system running on a remote target machine. Now, there are two types of grabber banning available, banner grabbing. Two types. What are they? The first one is called active, and the second one is called passive. Active banner grabbing, and second one is passive banner grabbing. Now, so let me go to active. Okay, what is active banner grabbing means? So this is, okay, this method is going to send some packets, some specially crafted packets. It is going to send some packets into the network, into the remote network, or into the target. Okay, and then it is going to note down the response. Whatever the response coming, I'm going to note down the response. So in the response, I will find what type of operating system you are using. Okay, what type of the network layers, that means the network setup you are using. So all this information, I'm going to get it from your network. That means I'm sending a packet. So using that particular packet, okay, I'm getting some response. From the response, I'm going to learn about the operating system or the TCP/IP stack. So the basic information I'm going to study about the target. So this is going to be the first method. Second method is passive banner grabbing method. Okay, what is passive grabbing method means? You are not going to send any packets, but instead what you can do means, you can use some tools, okay, or you can just go to the particular machine or particular website. Okay, you can use some basic information like SSL certificate. You take, okay, go to www.bankmuscat.com. Okay, if you go to bankmuscat.com, you will find the SSL certificate. Okay, the digital certificate. So if you check it in the certificate, you can find what operating system they are using. Okay, what is the operating system they are using? What is the web server? Okay, that means they are using. All this information you will get it. So what this means, in active banner grabbing, a packet will be sent. Okay, a specially created packet. The attacker will create a packet and it will send it into the target machine. From the target machine, the attacker will find what is the operating system, what are the TCP stack. Okay, even some more information you will get it. But in the passive banner means, you are going to do some passive means like not enter into the target. Okay, you are not going to enter into the target by using some error messages, by using the SSL certificates. Okay, so by using the basic informations available in the website, in the URL, okay, you will get what type of information, what type of server they are using. Okay, what is the web server they are using, what is the operating system they are using. So you can collect the information. So this is called the passive banner grabbing. Now, I'm going for the next one. There are some tools available. Okay, what is the tools means? One is the IDserve tool, and second one is the Netcraft tool. So this Netcraft tool we are going to see in our lab part. Okay, this is actually it's a very big tool. Actually, Netcraft is a very big tool. There are a lot of options available inside the Netcraft tool. Okay, some basic things we are going to study in our lab part. So you can use the Netcraft, and then you can use the IDserve. So these two tools, what is the concept? These two tools will be very useful for so many things. Plus, you are going to do banner grabbing. What is banner grabbing? You are going to know about the operating system which are going to run, which is running in the target machine. So using these tools, IDserve tool and the Netcraft tool, you can find the operating system details of your target machine. Okay, not only that, there are so many things. Okay, you can do it. it includes banner grabbing also. Now, scan for vulnerability. Okay, up to this, okay, this is a small concept. Okay, banner grabbing is a very small thing. Okay, it's a very small concept. Now, I'm going for the next concept. So the next concept is scan for vulnerability. Okay, teacher, we are discussing about scanning concept. So what will be the output? What will be the result? What will be the result of this step after doing a scanning? What will be the result means you keep everything in your mind from the beginning. First thing, you can find what are all the ports open in your target machine. This is first. Then you can find what are the live machines, the machines which are live, which are on. What is the IP address? You can find it. Then the next one, what is the operating system used? Okay, what is the operating system used? What is the server used? Okay, web server or whatever it is. So the information about the operating system, about the servers you can collect. So these are all you can collect, okay, by using scanning method. Okay, I just summarize everything from the beginning. Okay, from the beginning, whatever is there, I just going to summarize, okay, the basic thing. Port numbers are the ports which are open, whether a machine is live or not. Okay, what is the IP address of the machines? Then you can find the information about the operating system. Okay, so all these things, if you put together, this is what the attacker is going to get. Okay, the attacker is going to get. Now, scan for vulnerability. So vulnerability scanning identify the vulnerable and weakness of a system and the network in order to determine how a system can be exploited. So whatever I got, I'm going to make a list. That is going to be the vulnerability list. So in this machine, this particular port number is open. In this machine, this particular port number is open. So now the attacker will enter into your machine by using that particular port number. Okay, so first concept, you must know what are the port numbers open in the target machine. So by using that particular port number, the attacker will try to enter into the target machine. So this will give the network vulnerabilities. It will show what are the open ports and what are the services running in a target machine. What are all the applications and services vulnerable in that, which is the weakest port number, and that port number is open in a machine means the attacker will select which port number is going to be more vulnerable. So in that vulnerable port number, the attacker will try to enter. Then application and service configuration errors. If there is any errors, any default passwords, okay, if you're not changing any configurations, easily the attacker will find it. So at the end of this particular stage or at the end of this particular step, scanning, the attacker is going to get the complete information about your network and your vulnerabilities. So network-based vulnerabilities he is going to find. Okay, now we are having some tools here. One is called the Nessus and another one is GFI LandGuard. Okay, plenty of tools available. Plenty of tools available. So there is a course, okay, certification, CEH, Certified Ethical Hackers. If you do that course, Certified Ethical Hacker, you can find so many websites available for that. You will study only about these tools, only about the tools, how to configure the tools, how to use the tools, okay, and how to launch the attack. Okay, only the tools. This is a big course actually. The complete tools, if you want to study, you can study for 1 year. Okay, even more than 1 year we can study. Okay, that much of things available. We are giving a small introduction here, okay, for everything. So example for vulnerability scanning tools, there are two important tools. Already we discussed some tools, okay, in the last, even in the previous slide, we discussed IDServe, Netcraft. Now we are including another two tools here. One is called the Nessus and the another one is GFI LandGuard. Okay, LandGuard, these are the tools which are used for scanning the network. Now, so the next one is, I got all the information about you, that means about my target. Now, what I'm going to do means, I'm going to draw a network diagram of my target. How many computers running? How many computers live? what are the port numbers open in each machine, what is the IP address of each machine. So the attacker is going to draw the network diagram of a target machine. You see how big it is. So drawing the target's network diagram gives a valuable information about the network and its architecture to an attacker. So the entire network architecture, okay, so the target is going to draw about a target. So even there are so many tools available for finding the network discovery tools. Nowadays, plenty of tools available. Okay, actually, unfortunately, you are not in the college. Even myself, I'm having around 20 GB of tools collection. 20 GB of tools, okay, I'm having. So what are that means? For everything, scanning tools, enumeration tools, footprinting tools, virus creating tools, spam creating tools. Okay, so like this, there are collection of tools available, plenty of tools available. If you study, okay, if you study the CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, please note down. Okay, Certified Ethical Hacker. I think V2 now, version 12 is going on now, the current version. I completed 8 long back. Okay, I completed CEH version 8, I completed, but it is valid only for 3 years. So every 3 years, okay, automatically the certificate will be expired. So now I think it is 12, if I'm not wrong. Okay, please check it. So if you study that CEH, a complete list of tools only you will study for everything, for all the phases, starting from footprinting to the last one. Okay, covering the tracks. That is the last step in hacking, covering the tracks. So up to this, for all the steps, okay, you will study about only the tools. It will be a very interesting course. There are so many free websites also available. Even in YouTube, you can search it. Okay, Certified Ethical Hackers. Okay, hacking course. Okay, this. So these are all the tools used for the network discovery. Okay, network topology mapper, OP manager, network view. Okay, so these are all some of the popular tools which is used for network discovery. So this will collect the information about the network. Okay, so how many machines available, how many devices they are using, what type of architecture they are using. So complete information you may collect. Then the next one is prepare proxies. Okay, so this is going to be the last one. So prepare proxies. So what is proxy? Okay, so a proxy server, so it is an application, that means layer 7, that can serve as an intermediary for the connection with other computers. I will tell you in a very simple way. If you take in our college, we have 3 proxies. 3 proxies we have. Okay, I think you know the IP address, but I don't want to tell the IP address. It is recording. So there is a IP address available. Okay, the proxy IP address. You have to fix it in your browser. You just go to the settings. Okay, and you can fix. Okay, you can fix the IP address, the proxy IP address. You can fix it. So what does it mean? The proxy is a machine which is available in the server room. All our machines, the client machines, are connected with the proxy. Then the proxy is connected with the router, and the router is connected with the outside world. So a proxy is an application machine, okay, which is going to connect, which is going to act as an intermediate machine for the other computers. Then, so this machine, okay, it will hide the source IP address. You might have heard about the network address translation, NAT. What does that mean? If you work inside the college, you will be using a private IP address. Private IP address means you will be using IP address starting with the 10.0.0. Okay, your IP address will start with 10. A private IP address you will use. But using the private IP address, you cannot communicate with the internet. If you want to communicate, okay, outside, that means through internet, if you want to communicate with another machine, you need a public IP address. Okay, you need a public IP address. So the proxy server is going to provide, okay, it is going to provide you, okay, the IP address, the public IP address it will provide you. So using the public IP address, your machine will communicate with the outside world. Okay, so this concept is called network address translation concept. Private IP address will be converted into public IP address. Public IP address will be converted into private IP address. Okay. So the proxies, the function of proxy is this. Then the proxies can stop. Okay. A proxy can stop a particular IP address. Okay. Suppose if I want to block the Facebook inside the college, means using proxy, I can block it. I want to block a particular IP address, I want to block inside the college. Okay, I can block it. So I can fix some control. You can fix some control. Okay, how many packets you can send, how many packets you can receive. So all these things you can do it by using a proxy. So what does it means? The proxy is going to act as a countermeasure. So using the proxies, we can avoid, or we can stop, or we can minimize the scanning. So the people, those who are scanning your network, you can reduce it by using, okay, the proxies. So the proxy will give a fake IP address to the outside world, but inside you will have a different IP address. So a proxy can allow a user to enter. A proxy can allow a user to, okay, to block. Okay, it will block a user. It will allow a user. Okay, the proxy can allow a particular application, a particular website, or you can block. So using the proxy, you can avoid scanning. This is also a countermeasure. Okay, a countermeasure to reduce, okay, to reduce the scanning effect. Okay, so this is the concept of proxies. Then scanning pen test. What is pen test means? Penetration testing. So what does that means? You have to run the penetration testing for your network. You have to scan your own network, and you have to find, okay, you have to find any port number is open. You can say penetration. Okay, this is a very important title. Okay, in security, if you take security, penetration testers. This is a job profile. Okay, you can find the advertisement. Just go and Google it, penetration testers job. So you will find lot of, okay, job offers for that. So what does that means? You can become a pen tester. Okay, so what I have to do for that, teacher? Means you penetration testers. So what is their job? So their job is every day they will run the scanning tools in the network, and they will find what are all the weakness available in the network. So what is the problem in the network? What are the ports open? What are the ports closed? What we have to do? Everything they will check, and they will write a report to the administrator. Okay, they will give you a report. Okay, so this is called the penetration testing job. Okay, you see the penetration testing report will help the system administrators. It will help the system administrators for what? To close the unused ports. If any port number is open, but we are not using that port number, means you can close it. To disable the unnecessary service. To hide or customize the banners. Troubleshooting the service configuration errors, and calibrating the firewall rules. So the penetration tester will give the report every day. The penetration, okay, tester will give the report. What is the report? This particular port number is open in our network, but we are not using this port number. This service is running in our network, but this service is an unnecessary service. Then this is a banner. This is the basic information. It is leaking the confidential information to the attackers. So please kindly close it or stop it. So these are all the errors available in our network. You have to change the rule. The firewall rule is like this. You have to make the rule more tight. You have to change the rule like this. So the penetration tester will give a report like this to the administrators. The administrators will implement that. Okay, they will implement that. So penetration testing is going to be a very important task. Okay, every organizations, they are having the penetration testers. So if you are interested, okay, or if you want to become a penetration tester, Okay, there are a lot of certifications available, certification courses available. Mostly you will study about these tools. Okay, mostly you will study about the tools. Okay, concept plus the tools, how to use a tool, how to implement a tool. Okay, this is what we will learn about. Okay, in the penetration testers or even in the certified ethical hackers. Okay, you will learn about this. So what I want to convey today, try to get some certificates, some additional certificates, try to get. Okay, there are plenty of certifications available. Okay, today I talk about the two important certifications. One is the CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, and then Certified Penetration Testers. Okay, penetration testers, or they in a very simple short form, pen test. Certified pen test engineers. Okay, try to search in that. There are a lot of courses available, so you can try to complete any of the courses. Okay, this will be very useful for you. Okay, to get the job. Okay, in the networking area, that means in the security area particularly.